Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Eliza and the Daily Run with Za is me sharing my stories and answering your questions about my 18-year run streak. Over on Instagram, you can follow me, Daily Run with Za. Over there, you have been asking me all sorts of questions about running every day. And today I am doing a part 2 to my previous video about running through pregnancy. This video is running after delivery. So in a nutshell, I had to run 5 hours after delivering a baby. Yeah, just wait for the rest of the video before you make your comments. I know it's kind of controversial, so always consult with your doctor or midwife, and it's recommended to wait at least, 6 weeks, or depending on what your doctor says, wait before you run or exercise or really do anything. You know, they tell you not even to lift the weight of your baby for a few days. So where to begin? I was first pregnant in 2014, and by then I was 12 years into my run streak, and also I was trying to find, on the internet, if anybody has ran through pregnancy and delivery before. I couldn't find anything out there. I don't think I was the first person to do it, and I think women kind of hide behind the fact that they did do it. A lot of people are, a lot of women are coming out, DMing me or commenting saying, yeah, I actually ran too, or, obviously it's not advised. It's good to rest, especially after delivering a baby, but we all know our own bodies and we should trust how we feel and also not be super swayed by our desire to get back in shape, lose the baby weight. For me, a daily run is not about fitness or about weight loss or physical appearance whatsoever. It's more, taking that time to connect with myself and honoring that commitment to myself. So I was already 12 years into my run streak. I wanted to see if it was possible, back into when I first started my running every day in 2002. So many people told me, don't do it. It's unhealthy. It's bad for you. And I thought it's funny, even some women told me, yeah, your streak's going to end once you get pregnant, or, it's impossible to run through pregnancy and delivering a baby. So, I think it's my personality, but when somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm even more determined to do it. So the birth story, I just made a previous video on running through pregnancy. So in 2014, my kind of birth story, first of all, I found a midwife at a birthing center because I was kind of skeptical of hospitals and how they push C-sections, and I, really wanted to experience birth in the natural way. I didn't use any medication. I make things harder for myself, and I really wanted to experience what birth was, no matter how hard it was. And this was an extremely difficult birth. Labor started Tuesday evening. I already ran Tuesday morning, but labor started Tuesday evening. I didn't sleep much through the night. Wednesday about 4 a.m. I did a 2-mile run thinking the baby would be born that evening. However, labor kind of slowly progressed, or actually didn't really progress. It just kind of continued through that day. And the evening time, I went to the birthing center. They actually sent me home because, my contractions weren't close enough and I was relatively comfortable. I wasn't really ready to be there. So they sent me home. They told me take a shot of whiskey to help you relax. I'm like, it's been a decade. I haven't, I'm sober. I don't drink. So I'm not going to start drinking when I'm having a baby. So I took some Benadryl instead, kind of against that too, but they said that would help me relax. Which it did not. It made me super drowsy. That was kind of like my biggest, I think, mistake, is doing that, because I was just so tired, drowsy, I didn't have any energy. I just wanted to sleep. But, super painful back labor would not allow for that. So yeah, as soon as we got home, I basically had to leave again. Just, it's like super intense pain. Like at that time, it would have been completely impossible. I don't want to say impossible, but super, super, super difficult to do a run. So this was still Wednesday night. I already had my run done for that day. So all night, I was basically in labor. The midwife actually went home and I was stuck with her assistant and nothing was really progressing. I was in the bathtub. I was just kind of wading through it, and no medications. So finally the midwife comes back in Thursday early morning, and she's like, oh, the baby's turned. This is why things aren't progressing. I'm like, okay, you made me spend all night with the baby being turned when it could have progressed if you just were here. But anyway, so she had me get on all fours and used a scarf to kind of turn the baby in my belly. Some sort of technique, I don't know. But at least that helped. So apparently, the baby was maybe sideways. Labor wasn't progressing because he wasn't in the right position. So I guess that did help, according to her. I don't know. It just seems, I don't understand how that happened. But still, we're Thursday morning now. That would have been so difficult. I don't want to say impossible, but I didn't even think about running at all at that time. I didn't even know what day it was. I was just kind of like, I feel like I wasn't even conscious. I mean, I was, but like back labor, contractions were every few minutes, but nothing was progressing. And I was just totally in pain. I said back labor a million times, but I remember feeling it. It's like my back was like splitting open. So I just like could not relax. They gave me some laughing gas, I had a great time on laughing gas, but it was just something to help me relax, which it did a little bit, but still, now that I'm flashing back to this, I'm like having, PTSD. I'm just kidding. But, so yeah, I think it was about 2:00. Finally she said I was like ready to push. And I remember at that time, I'm like, I finally remembered, like my run, do you think it's possible? I looked down at my watch and yeah, it was 2:00. I'm like, well, I think we still have time. So I asked her, like, how much time do you think this is going to take? She's like, well, we're almost done. So I'm like, okay, I think it's gonna be possible. I just gotta get through this. It's kind of like you see the finish line of a marathon. You just got to get through the rest of the race, and then you can get your water and your snacks. So anyway, pushing took, good hour and a half. Not fun. So because we were at the birthing center, we only stayed about an hour, and this was on Thanksgiving Day, by the way. So we only stayed about an hour and then we were sent home. So just to reiterate the pain and the agony and the stress and it was just super difficult. Obviously I'd do it again, but, it turned into a 40-something hour labor of just, it wasn't fun. So when we got home about 4:00-ish, we rested. I slept with the baby. By that time, he was just tired. For the most part, babies sleep pretty well after, going through all that themselves. So I was exhausted. I kind of like barely even remember the being home. But by 8:00, I was super tired. I'm like, well, I need to try sleeping through the night. My mom was there, and so I wrapped my belly and put on my running shoes. Not motivated whatsoever. Literally the last thing I wanted to do, but I knew it was possible. I went through all 40 hours of that labor, and I finally had this opportunity to keep my run streak. Was I just going to lay there and think what if, or did I want to test the possibility of allowing this to happen and really see if it was possible? So I got out there, my stride, very short shuffle. I ran 17 minutes. I'd never, for me, I run continuously. I don't believe in stopping in the middle of a run. So it was a continuous 17 minutes, very slow. The whole time I'm thinking about the baby. I'm like, wow, like I have this new identity now. I'm a mom. There's like a lot of emotions that are happening. And I feel like the run really allowed me to connect to that and kind of realize what happened. It's a traumatic experience, in a positive way for yourself to have a baby, and now you're a mom. Now you have to take care of a human being. And also, being out there running, it was a practice of gratitude. Wow, like I have a healthy baby, like, just kind of relief. Like the 9 months of pregnancy are over. I survived. I did it. now I can really be strong and really take care of this human that I have waiting for me at home. And, just grateful for being alive and having this beautiful life experience. And so that's, I think, what the run was about for me on that day. It's not about fitness. It's not about returning to the baby weight. It was about that connection to myself and to the situation and realizing, okay, new phase in life. Here we go. So that was 8 p.m. The next day I tried waiting. So Friday I tried waiting all day, ran in the evening again just to help my body rest a little bit. But let me tell you, Friday morning when I woke up, I felt like I ran 5 marathons. And I've ran, marathons in the past, and I have never been that sore in my entire life. So my whole body was just sore, and, I just kept taking it easy. And probably about maybe a month, I felt relatively back into feeling okay running, kind of getting my body back, feeling normal. I don't think normal really came till about a year later. But, the hardest part was figuring out how to run with a newborn. Who's going to hold them? Who's going to watch them? It's like now I had to rely on somebody else to help me get in my run, which my run used to be completely independent for the most part, besides family support. But now I had to figure out, how am I going to get away? And that was the hardest part. There's strollers. I could make a whole video on how to run with a newborn, because definitely I was very creative in how I got in my runs. But so that's the first birth story. The second story is a lot shorter, thankfully. So 2016 I was pregnant again, and I knew, okay, it is possible. I've done it before. You still don't know what to expect. Things could go wrong. There's complications, it's like a different baby, a different experience. For the most part, I was healthy, I was fine. So he was actually born the day after Christmas. So Christmas evening, I remember feeling contractions at the dinner table, not telling anybody, but just being like, something might happen. Contractions started very early, on the 26th, and about probably 3 a.m, I had a home birth, and I did my run inside, running through contractions, kind of the beginning stages of contractions. So running through contractions, I would say, is very similar to running through a muscle cramp. And, they weren't, so I had back labor again. So definitely not a great experience, but, it's like running through a Charlie horse, or, like a muscle cramp of some sort. So that's kind of what it felt like. I think I ran 15 minutes inside, loops around because it was snowing and cold and slippery. I didn't want to slip, obviously. So the 26th I ran in the morning. Still, it was a good 25-hour labor from, that night to the evening. Because he was born late, about 9 p.m. on the 26th, December 26th. And so a little bit easier because I was able to go to bed, have all that next day before I ran. So I basically ran 24 hours after he was born. I did my run later in that evening. And then so on and so forth, got in my run the rest of the days. So that's kind of the story. And like I said, it is possible. It's very, very difficult. If you go to my podcast, Daily Run with Za, you can find that on iTunes or Spotify. And there's a few other women I've spoken with that have ran through pregnancy and delivery. And like I said, it's a different experience for everybody, a different baby, a different body. And also not advised. But, a question, would I do it again? Of course, I'd do it again. I know it's possible, and I know that it's a matter of not just the mental strength, but just really that honoring that commitment to yourself. If you say you're going to do it, you do it. You're not going to be like, well, if it works out, obviously it's not going to work out. like it's not going to be an ideal time to run. So it's just a matter of going out there and doing it. And, you know, now my boys are 4 and 6. I still feel that relief that it's over. Like any woman going through pregnancy and birth, it's like, oh, finally it's over. Like if you think back, you're like, I'm just so glad it's done. But so it is possible. This is just part of my story. You know, I'm coming up on 19 years of running every day in September. And there's that kind of piece of the story, such as running through pregnancy and birth, that creates controversy. But also, I don't want to be here running every day for almost 19 years saying I've never been injured, I never got pregnant, I never had a kid, I never traveled, it was just easy. You know, I'm not here to tell you it's easy. I'm telling you it's very difficult. There's challenges, there's obstacles in sickness and in health and all sorts of weather. So it's just a matter of overcoming those things and, you know, honoring that commitment to yourself and getting in the run. So I hope this answered a little bit more of your questioning on how it was possible. It was possible for me. I made it happen. And if you have any other follow-up questions that I didn't answer, please leave them in the comments. And, you know, go over to Instagram to follow me, Daily Run with Za. I post snippets of me running and answer other questions over there. But please give this video a like or a dislike if you don't agree with my story. But otherwise, subscribe, and I'll look forward to you in the next video. Bye.